Oh, let's see if this is going to work for us. Looks like I have one live message. Somebody said, hi, I apologize. This basically had stopped streaming and I continued to talk. So this thing is a learning curve. I see someone said hello. Hello's out there. So if I said that right. If you were trying to watch, you probably navigated away. I'm going to do just a quick summary here. We are well overdue of when this was supposed to start, but again, I had some technical difficulties, and I was basically recounting my story about my recent backpacking trip and the ketogenic diet and how that went. So I'll do this. I'm just going to summarize right here, and if anybody has questions later, please ask your questions, and we'll be doing some follow-up videos as I do every Tuesday. Just as a primer for in a couple of weeks, I'll probably be having a special guest. We're going to talk Lyme's disease, so watch for that. So we'll shift gears a little bit from the ketogenic diet and talk about that. So hang on, I'm just going to type a little message. Technical difficulties. So watch for recorded replay. Anyway, so a couple of weeks ago I had a chance to go on a backpacking trip, and what it was, and my father. So my brother and I had the plan to bear with me, waiting for a connection to come back. So I think we're back. We were returning to this area in California that we backpacked 20 years ago with my father. My father passed away in 2000, and so that happened to be the last backpacking trip we did with him. And for this trip, of course, there were some interesting things. One is getting ready to do that at age 50 plus. My brother's a couple years renting there. And so another thing is it's very lightweight. It's very efficient. Bringing your calories as fat is the densest calorie you can get. And so it was going to be, in theory at least, a very, very efficient way to go. So I was able to prepare pretty much with off-the-shelf products. I did prepare a bunch of dehydrated vegetables and then package those for the meals because I didn't want to buy a bunch of expensive dehydrated and carbohydrate-rich foods. And so that worked out really well. I shopped mostly at Trader Joe's, and so most of my foods were from there. So the fresh produce I got there, and I got their beef jerky sticks. They have these ones preservative-free turkey and beef that were pre-packaged in a perfect serving size. Of course, I had macadamias. I had my dried almonds. I had some, what did I bring? Some seeds, pumpkin seeds. I had cacao nibs, had my protein powders, instant coffee, and some MCT powder, and coconut powder too. So some cooking prep for dinner, but it was pretty quick and on the go. Somewhat repetitive meals, but hey, I was catching fish and eating that too. So I had no sugar. The only carbohydrates, which when you're exerting yourself, you do need some carbohydrates. So that came from vegetables. I had some dehydrated, freeze-dried berries that I was eating, a little bit of those, and plantain chips was one of my go-to snacks. So beautiful country. My energy was great. I had to adjust to altitude, going from about 6,500 feet up to 8,500 feet. And so we spent about 3 days getting ourselves into this lake. So we spread that 20 miles out. We didn't get up to the trailhead until late on the evening we were starting. So we actually, with lights, did about an hour and 45 minutes, camped overnight, and got up and went about another 5 hours to a lake to stay. And the next day we went all the way in to the final lake. Coming out after a few days at the lake, which was phenomenal, it was beautiful, just kind of strolled around, hung out, read, well, I didn't read, I journaled. I swam, caught fish, and meditated. And then we had the bright idea to get up and hike all the way out in a single day, which motivated by a couple of factors. One is missing our families, and secondly, having thunderstorms looming behind us. We had beautiful weather, but those thunderstorms were moving in, and so we got out in a single day. So 8 a.m., got to the car at 6:30 p.m., walked 20 miles, 2,500 feet of climbing coming out. Going in, it was about close to just shy of 4,000 feet of climbing. Again, we did spread that out, but so food worked out well, plenty of energy. What I had said earlier that did not get on the video was talking about some 3 key points with that kind of a ketogenic diet in terms of planning a trip or doing, say, an endurance sporting event or a race of some kind. And that is getting yourself keto adapted ahead of time. So definitely don't recommend that you decide to do the keto diet as you're going out to do the thing. Obviously, that's common sense. And so you need to be keto adapted, and I have many videos about that, and you can learn more about that. The other goal I had was to use off-the-shelf products from the grocery store. So honestly, yeah, I go to Trader Joe's. They have some good options. I think they're a little more natural, and they have great prices. And so I also like their serving sizes for me and my family. You get, you're not having to store giant packages of foods that you might get at a bulk store. So anyway, I had all the foods from Trader Joe's, and it worked out well. Lastly, of course, another point was using your own prep. I have a large capacity dehydrator at home that I hadn't even used in a little while, so it was nice to get that back out and going. I need to use it more. I usually just soak and dry my nuts through that, but I also like to do vegetables and fruits in season. Of course, I don't do fruits as much, but the vegetable dehydration was great, and it's almost instant. You could use those even around home as backup food or your own emergency supply food, or if you're going to go camping. So anyway, I will not talk on and on. We obviously aren't, this is live, but it's going to be recorded, and because of our delay, I imagine nobody's watching, but please ask your questions. I'll be talking more about sports and nutrition coming up with the cyclocross season and endurance sports, 2 sides of the spectrum. Cyclocross, if you're not familiar with that, is basically racing on a somewhat road bike-like bike on dirt and gravel. It's super fun, but it's also the ultimate sprint kind of sport, whereas at the other end of the spectrum is more of the endurance sport. So talking about that coming up. Also in a couple weeks, like I said, I'll be having a guest and talking about Lyme's disease, and I hope to hear from you and see some of your questions on that. So watch for that. It might not be live, it might be recorded. The other thing is watch for my video I'll be uploading on the backpacking preparation with the foods. So thanks for watching. See those video links here and the subscription link on screen as well. And I hope to see some of you in office and in the comment feed. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.